What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Blended Talk, where we talk about how men navigate through blended families. Today, I got a guest with me today, Mike. Mike is a mutual friend, family friend. Known him for a little bit, met him at a few family functions. Known his wife for a very long time. That's a family friend. Known her since I was a child. So, what's going on, Mike? You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, Mike Parker. How y'all doing out there in the world? Just here to talk about the topics that, blended family and everything. So,
Appreciate you coming on, man.
yeah, excited to be here.
So, just gonna kind of start from the top. Where it all started. From the time you met your wife and you guys getting married and everything else.
Well, Peach and I go back a little far because we went to high school together
Okay.
and everything. So we was, homie lover friends in high school. And then we graduated. I went to college off to Purdue. And then I lived in New York for three and a half years, probably 3 years. Yeah, it was like 3 years. And then I moved back here to Indianapolis area. Yeah, that's where I'm originally from. And then one of my buddies invited me to a party in Anderson, and he's like, "Peach gonna be there, your girlfriend, man." And I was like, "Yeah, right, whatever." So anyway, he called her, and then he put her on the phone, and then I said something inappropriate. So you might edit this part out. But I was like, "You still got the," and she's like, "Whatever." So anyway, we went to the party that night, and then she came over, and it was really just like me and some of my high school buddies, that hadn't seen each other in a while. And then she came over, and she was like the only girl there. And then she went to leave. She's there about an hour and a half, and then she went to leave, and so she left, and then I ran outside. I was like, "Hey, where you going?" And then we started talking again after that, and then next thing you know, we started dating, and then 4.5 years later, we got married.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, when you had already came back from New York and everything like that, she had already had her kids.
Yeah. So she had Dee and Taja already.
Okay.
I think they were. I want to say Taja may have been like 8, and Dee may have been like 4. I may be getting those ages wrong. I'm horrible with numbers.
But they was both kind of.
I'm horrible with ages and birthdays and stuff like that. So.
Got you.
But yeah, they were already born. Taja was going into young adult age, like probably like 7th grade, stuff like that and everything. So I had to meet them and everything and get, used to dating a woman with kids because I had never done that before in my life. You know what I mean? I would always have like single girls my age and stuff like that. So it was a little different, and we had distance between us as well. I was in Indianapolis, and she was, up here in Anderson.
Got you.
I would come up here on the weekends a lot, or she would come down there and hang out. Bring the kids sometimes. But obviously, when I came up here, I would stay like the whole weekend, and she would go to work, and I would be at home, with the kids and everything. So. But I normally ain't gonna lie to you. I know I should just stay in her room and not come out.
Like let everybody do their own thing.
Yeah. I was like, I don't really know, what I'm saying? Because back then, Peach had a open door policy kind of house. Her dad was there, her brother was there. Like, there was a lot of people in and out. They didn't lock the doors. So one day when I went to go leave, I locked the door, and I left and went to work in Indianapolis. And then she called me. She was like, "Did you lock my door? My daddy and them saying they can't get me and they don't got a key." And I was like, "Yeah, I locked the door."
Right.
Like, I'm from Hallville. And Indianapolis, like, we lock doors. Right. We don't leave stuff open. So
yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, but yeah, she had already had the kids and everything. So
got you.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't have any kids of your own?
No, no biological kids. So I look at Dee and Taja as kind of like my kids. I thought about adopting them once when they were younger, but it just didn't materialize into anything because, their dads weren't ever around.
Gotcha.
So like Dee's dad kind of, just didn't want anything to do with him. I remember one time, uh, Peach, him, and Peach went to go drop D off to meet his dad, and Peach was like, "Okay, he'll be with you for this amount of time or whatever." And me and her went to go do something. He called her like an hour later or something, and was like, you know, not even the whole time. I'm just like, dang, man, that's like your son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think this is correct. This is his only son. At that time it was. So he had other kids, but that was his only actual son. So he didn't want nothing to do with him. So, and then Tasha's dad, he in and out of jail his, pretty much her whole life. So got out, went back, and so they really didn't have any kind of like father figure.
Right. No concrete.
Yeah, man in their life, So I just, thought I could be, a focal point for them, like, a stability, something that they could come to and talk to things about, or they were going through something, or, if Pete said no, they would come to me and I would probably say yes.
Type deal.
That guy, the kids peeing the parents.
Right. So would you say since their fathers wasn't around, that kind of made it easier for you to, do things and kind of gain their love and respect over, or just maybe easier for you to just kind of come in and do what you felt you needed to do as a father figure?
So I will say it made it a lot easier because I didn't have to like deal with baby daddy drama or anything, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or somebody saying, "Oh, he ain't, that's my son or that's my daughter. You can't say this, you can't do that." I didn't ever have to deal with that.
Right.
But I also, like I said, I wasn't used to being around kids. I was a single guy, coming back from New York City. Like in my head, I was moving back to New York in 2 years. Like she was just what was in front of me at the current time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have any plans of getting married or anything. You know what I'm saying? But I got to know the kids and everything and stuff. But yeah, it made it a lot easier. And then I also had to learn though, like once I knew I was staying and that me and her was gonna be together, I had to learn like how to be a parent, or at that time not a parent, but an older person around kids, that dating a woman that has kids. You know what I'm saying? Then when we got married, I forgot that I was marrying the kids too. You know what I'm saying? Right. I really did. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, I'm marrying her, and then
it's like it's there. It's locked in.
Yeah, I was like, oh shoot, wait a minute, Dean and Taja. I was like, I ain't forget about him, but I forgot about him. Right. I said, because now I'm a dad. Now I'm a father. So it totally changed my mindset of like, I gotta. Now they just ain't me. I gotta worry about. Now I gotta worry about, providing and trying to, do stuff the right way and show them example, trying to lead by example and stuff like that. So that was a struggle, man. I ain't gonna lie, because my wife was a very still independent woman. So for someone else to come in and have ideals about things, how things should be done and stuff, we had some kerfuffles.
It's kind of a learning experience for everybody.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, especially when they moved from Anderson. They moved to Indianapolis into my 1-bedroom apartment. So it was 4 people in a 1-bedroom apartment, 1 bathroom. Kids didn't even have a bedroom or anything. They slept on the couch out in the front room for like, I think we did that for, let's see, my lease was a year lease. We got married, and I think I still had like 6 months left on the lease. So we did that for like 6 months.
So pretty safe to say a pretty strong challenge to get through that.
Oh, definitely, yeah. That was rough, man. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty rough because it was, this that small amount of space. He can't really go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he can't have any alone time or anything,
Right.
or you know. And I worked near where I lived at that time. You know, we were in Lake Castleton, the apartments. So, and I worked at Roche. So, you know, sometimes I would just leave and go into the office. You know, and we weren't even at work.
Right.
Because we were a 24-hour call center. So I would just go in and be at my desk sometimes, you know, just to get away, clear the head and everything, stuff like that. So
Gotcha. Can you recall a time where you felt like there was a challenge that you found was hard to overcome pertaining to any of your kids?
with the boy, um, teenager in high school, smoking more weed than I would have liked him to smoke. But it's really the girl age, you know, getting into girls and stuff like that. And that's kind of hard to control with boys. I mean, because I was a kid, so I'm a boy too,
Right.
so I know that feeling and that rush of going to get some first time. So we caught him sneaking out. So we have cameras in our house, so we have an alarm system, and we would tell him like, stop sneaking out. Like your curfew is this time. You know, don't be sneaking out of the house and stuff. We see you on camera. So said that. Then the next, probably not the next day, but the next week, let's say, Peach goes to work. I'm getting up to go to work. She was like, make sure you get D's his lunch money. And I said, all right. So I go into his bedroom and the window is open. Now, man, mind you, this is on the second floor of a 2-story house. The window is open and the screen got a cutout in it. And he ain't in the room. So I'm like, what the heck did happen here? So to make the story a little shorter, he jumped out of his second room. He cut his screen, first of all, and then jumped out of the window where ain't nothing there but straight down to grass to go see his little friend or whatever. And then walked back into the house, though.
Right, he had to. He can't climb
Yeah.
back up there.
So obviously, us as parents, totally upset and mad. You know, we go crazy, turn the phone off, give me the phone, yada it is. iCloud account, I'm logging in, seeing all kind of stuff I don't want to fucking see. So I'm like, close that out. Right. But, you know, Peach and him got in an argument, you know, over that. And then she walked into our bedroom and was like, I can't deal with him. You go handle it. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, at this point in time, I ain't really, I ain't never, black people, I ain't never punished the kids per se. Physically, yeah.
Disciplined.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't never physically disciplined them. I'm like, yeah, this, or like go take something from you, or like, that. But she was like, go beat his ass. And I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, so I just walked in there, I gave him like 4 or 5 to the chest, he buckled down or whatever and stuff. And I was just like, what was that? Even with me, I was like, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I only did that because she was like, go do something. I was like, I think a struggle for me there was, could have found a different way of, handling that situation, versus, doing that. Because we were upset and mad or whatever. We were more mad about that he cut the screen. Because I was like, man, now I got to replace the screen. Right. To this day, that screen ain't replaced. You go in that room, open the window, it's just windows. But he could have just left through the front door. That's why I told him, I was like, man, you could have just went through the front door. You walk back in through the front door.
Or but he probably figured he's going to get caught, though.
Yeah. He's going to get caught regardless. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're getting caught regardless. So that was a little struggle for me because I really didn't know how to handle it. I was conflicted. But I did that, and I always just feel like I could have handled that situation a lot better. And then
Well, let me ask you this to add to that. Um, so obviously, whenever you guys have been together, are you guys married at this time?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. We were at the house that we're at now. So let's see. Taja was probably a junior. That was probably Taja's senior year and Dee's freshman year. So
So had you guys ever talked about, how discipline should be handled, like kind of up until that point, or just kind of was it just one of those things where y'all probably just maybe never foreseen those things coming like that, or felt like maybe,
yeah.
at that point, you
No,
didn't see
we never discussed it.
really.
We never discussed discipline. I always defaulted to her because they're her kids.
Hmm.
So I always defaulted to like
You felt like it might have been out of
however she
bounds.
wanted to discipline them, like whatever plan that she laid out of how we were gonna discipline them. I was always like, okay, let's go with that.
So did you ever feel like, without a doubt, because you are a father figure, and it's like I said, you guys married, it's concrete at that point in time. So I mean, as a father figure, did you ever just feel like, at some point that, um, especially with dealing with a boy, that
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going to have, like, maybe her methods might not work. And maybe it's not that they're not working, but it's coming from maybe a woman. So that might have
Mm-hmm.
a different effect versus coming from a man.
Yes and no. Um, I've always allowed, you know, Peach to discipline the kids how she wanted to. Now I may go back and talk to them, after she said what she,
Mm-hmm.
said was, the thing, and or organically just bring something up to them, and they'll express how they feel about a thing, and they'll be like, well, then I would give advice or give more guidance on,
One little context.
how you should probably try and navigate things, versus, trying to undermine what she said.
Mm-hmm.
I would just, add to it in a different context, just a different way of viewing things, to still keep it grounded, with me and her for the marriage and
Mm-hmm.
everything, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. And I don't think there was ever any time where like she disciplined them and well, there was one time she disciplined Tasha and I didn't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was a whole thing. The old school mama beat down, I've got those before, but I
Mm-hmm.
just didn't agree with for what it was.
For what it was.
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah, for what it was. I
Got
mean,
you.
granted,
And in those moments, it doesn't feel like, well, I can't stop her because it might seem like uh what is it
intruding
outruling
or
or
something,
intruding
or
or basically saying no, you're not
I will
right.
say when said situation was going down and furniture was moving, that's the part I feel kind of uncomfortable with. But even in that time, I didn't, I didn't step in and stop her. Now, me and her had a talk afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying about like you probably could have handled that a little different. She. And I'm like, okay. Now me and her arguing.
Right.
And I'm like, why are we arguing?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we arguing? I never understood the reason why she tested us, like why she tested her mother like that day. She said something of the extent of like she felt like she needed to be punished. She wanted us to be more hard on her.
This is
Tasha telling us this. So the situation where the whole thing is that we were going to get new cell phones for the whole family, and she didn't want to give us her cell phone. And we was like, you have to give us your cell phone so we can get you a new cell phone.
right.
But we gotta turn
Right.
these in
Right.
so we can get you a new one. Normally
Right.
a kid would be like ecstatic.
Right.
You know,
So
but
that
she was like,
obviously,
no.
so what? That's a red flag, obviously.
Yeah, so Peach was like, what do you mean, no? And Taj was like, no, you ain't getting my phone. So we went to freaking Sprint because we switched networks too. So you know how long that freaking
Right,
takes. We was
Sprint.
there,
This is definitely
man,
something
we was there
new.
for at least 3 hours, you know, and 4 phones, you know what I mean? I go in the house, right? I come back out the house and heard Tasha arguing in front of the crib, like everything. So I'm like, at least take it in the house.
Right.
All these nice,
Don't want the
these
wrong people to
neighbors
see
is
this,
over
right?
here, they gonna call the police and all kind of stuff and everything. So they took it in the house, and that's when the furniture started moving and everything. I always thought like maybe she was doing something and she didn't want to tell us about, so she feel like she needed to be punished or something.
Yeah, because I
Cause
would
like,
say that's very uncommon, I guess, for a
yeah,
kid to
yeah, it
say
really
something
is
like that.
very
So
weird, man. Like I never understood that. And Tasha's always been a self starter. Like you never really needed to like push her because she was always good in
took
school.
initiative and everything.
Yeah, she was always good in school, honor student. Like she's about to graduate law school next. Oh no, I keep saying next year, like it ain't this year yet. I ain't got used to 2026 yet. Sorry. This year in May. So you know we're going down there, but you know she is very much a loner. You know
Gotcha.
our kids are total opposites. D's a lover. He'll just come over like one night. I'll just be laying in the bed watching TV. He'll pop up the house and be like, "What's up? What's up, Dad? I just can't give you a hug, man. You know, just how you doing? What's
How that make
happening
you
with
feel
y'all?"
in the moments like that?
I love that, man. I love that, man. That means a lot to me, bro. Like for real. And the fact he don't call me Mike no more. He call me Dad.
When did that
So
how
that
did that
switched. I want to say, um, probably around when he graduated high school. Yeah, he stopped. I want to say his senior year, really, because his friends was saying that to me, like your dad, and then he was still calling me Mike and Dad sometimes. But like after he graduated high school, it was like Dad all the time.
you remember the first time he called you?
Uh, I think he was together with his friends, and I had picked him up from somewhere, and they were in a car, and he said it to me, and I was like, it didn't really register with me then. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always Mike. You know, with Taja, you know, I'm always, you know, Mike. So, because I did tell him that though. I was like, y'all can call me Mike or y'all can call me Dad. I was like, whichever one y'all want to do. Like, it's up to y'all. I don't have any distinction or like you need to do it this way. You know, I could have, and I could have made them do it. You know, but I like people. I like letting people do things that are comfortable to them, and let if stuff's gonna happen or it's organically gonna
Right.
happen, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So but yeah, I remember, and then I thought about it like when I got home and the kids got out of the car and everything. He was in his room, and I was like, I think he just called me Dad. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Kind of like an all moment. Like,
yeah, I was like, okay, all right. And then from like that on, I mean, he called me Mike a couple more times after that, but after that it was Dad. Well, we call him Pops. So, Pops, what's up, Pops?
Okay. Let me put a little disclaimer in there for all the stepfathers. You know, whenever you was just kind of doing your thing with your stepkids, and the first time they called you Dad, you know how that make you feel. You know, drop a comment in there and tell us that experience if you don't mind. Did she call you Dad as well?
No, she doesn't.
She calls you Mike still.
Okay. Yep, she calls me Mike.
No, I'm
She's
sure.
never called me Dad. Really? Tasha's never called me Dad. Now she'll call me and ask me for money. But she always pays me back. I'm this kind of person as far as loaning money to people. I want I want my money back. So it's either you calling me for a loan or you calling me and you letting me know up front you ain't gonna pay me back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I make the decision to give you the money or loan you the money. So Taja always calling. She don't always call me, but she college kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But she pays me back.
Is she still in college right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is a funny story. So last year we were in Atlanta. We just went down there for St. Patrick's Day to go see her. And we're eating at this restaurant, me, her, and Peach. Now, I don't know if you've been in Atlanta a lot.
Man, I went to Atlanta like when I was probably 7. My auntie's son.
Okay, so no.
TJ. No,
I mean, as a grown up.
Nah, no.
So, depending on where you are in the city, it's, you know how it is here when you walk into a restaurant? You might be the only black person.
Mm-hmm.
It's 180 down there in Atlanta.
Right.
You go into a restaurant, it's all black people.
Yeah, I definitely
Maybe
that.
one white person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that just blew my mind. Because I was like, I ain't never seen this amount of black people together getting along. And ain't nothing popping off or nothing. I said, I can get down with this.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. But anyway, that's besides the point of the story I was trying to tell. So this year, man, I got to get this right this year. This year will be 15 years of marriage for me.
Okay. Congrats.
Together, yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. We'll get to the other part. It's been a struggle. First 5 years were a struggle. But, you know, if you can make it 5 years, I feel like you can make it. Because after that, it's about communication and trust and, you know, obviously intimacy.
And working together and all that.
Yeah. Communication. That's where the communication comes from, man. Like, people forget about that. I know people say it's a cliche, but I don't think it's a cliche. You cannot over communicate how you feel about something.
Right.
You cannot express that even more because nobody's a mind reader.
Right.
If you don't tell the person you're with how you feel about a situation, they ain't ever gonna know.
Right.
They're gonna assume. And what happens when you assume? You assume wrong. Right. Yeah. Your own thoughts come into assumption. So, but anyway, so I was like, the way we got married, me and Peach, we got engaged, and then that next week we got married. So our engagement was only a week. Cause I knew like I gotta do this now. Mm-hmm. I engaged to her, boom, and I told her, I said, next week we're getting married, we're going to the Justice of the Peace in Anderson. She's like, bet. 2 days later, bro, she's like, well, my church said. She already had a dress, bro. She already had a dress. I said, so now we going to a church. And I said, who? I said, the whole thing is we ain't inviting nobody. Because, like, I just wanted to do this, me and you. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up doing the marriage and everything and invited some immediate family, but very small wedding. But people that couldn't be there obviously was mad. But, you know, that's why I didn't want to do it that way. And then we used the vacation that we was already going on as our honeymoon. You know what I'm saying? So we never really had a reception. So at that lunch, I was telling Taja and her, I was like, this year, I want to do an actual reception. Like, I want to get my groomsmen, you get your bridesmaids, we do the pictures. 15 years later, we have a ball and everything, you know, we get the tuxedos, we do it all, you know what I'm saying? And Tasha was like, well, when is that? I was like, in June 27th. She's like, I won't be able to make it. I was like, why not? She's like, I'll be studying for my bar exam. Because she's graduating on Mother's Day this year, and then she's going to study for her bar exam so she can get her license to practice law in Georgia. She's going to stay in Georgia.
Okay. Attorney?
Yeah, attorney. Yeah, contractual law.
That's what's up.
So, yeah.
Right. That's a
take
win.
care of Pops in his old age.
That's a win.
Then I'll be like, darling, let me borrow some money. She's going to be like, you need to pay me
Right,
back.
right.
And I'll be like, all right, when my pension come in, I got you. But she just shut the whole thing down, though. This was the funny part about it. She was like, well, I'm not going to be able to be there. This is how she talked. I'm not going to be able to be there, so why don't you guys just use the money you were going to use for the reception and give it to me and send me somewhere so I can study for my exam. She's like, and then you can have your party the next year. She's like, it'll be perfect. It'll be your sweet 16. I said, the freaking lawyer.
She's already putting those lawyer skills
in the mind started working that quick. Like I just told both of them this idea. In her mind, switched that fast and just thought of that quick. Like, that was amazing to me.
So are you
and that's Tasha. Like, that's what I love about her, man. She's just like that, you know. Peach is quick on her feet, too. Mm-hmm. Like, and I say she gets that from her mother.
So are you guys gonna do that? Follow through with that, or?
Well, we're not having it this year, obviously. You
guys want her there.
Yeah, sure. We want her there. Plus, we got too much stuff going on with this business and everything too. So everything's a little stretched at the end this year. So hopefully, Sweet 16. Yeah,
Sweet 16. Okay, I'm rooting for y'all on that. Okay.
I always wanted a reception. The marriage is for, you know, me and her. Mm-hmm. Or you're married, so
yeah, I think
y'all did it good.
Yeah, we did.
I was at your wedding.
Yeah, we did
awesome,
the whole
bro.
shebang right then and there.
Yeah. That was good.
A year engagement.
So you were only engaged for a year?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it was a year. It might have been a year and some change, but I'm pretty sure it was about just a year.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do the whole 3-5 year engagement thing, so I'm just like, yeah, let's just go on and. We just figured a year would be good.
At that point, like a year is good.
Yeah.
That gives you a year to plan your wedding. Because after that, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I think anything beyond that is, like you said, what are you doing? I mean, just.
Like Kendrick Lamar's been engaged for 15 years.
Yeah, that's insane to me. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's 15 years, but he's been engaged to his baby mama for a very, very long time. Like, very, very long time. Like,
too long.
Yeah, just. Either marry the girl or don't marry.
Yeah, because in all reality, to me, the whole ceremony and everything, like you said, it's, you know, it doesn't have to be done. You know, if you guys really want to be together, two people really want to be together, you know, the main thing is that they, you know, just seal the deal. Yeah. You know, you can worry about all the other stuff later. And if, you know, you can make it work and plan something within a decent time frame, then that's cool. But if not, then just go on and tie it and, you know, worry about that later. Yeah. So.
Because that's for... you know, you and her. Mm-hmm. The ceremony.
Right.
The party is for everybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all go there and have fun and everything. Right. But the stuff that happens before that is really what the marriage is all about and everything. You know, and people forget that. Mm-hmm. So that's, I mean, we didn't have a reception because we didn't want to spend the, let's just say $10,000 it cost for a reception. We was like, all right, we could take that money, put it in a bank, and save for a house. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did with it. So that's how we got the house we live in now. So,
yeah. I was very surprised at how much fun that I had. It truly was, I think, one of the best days of my life. And we definitely did not spend that much. And It was a pretty good time. It was a fun time. I mean, like you said, you was there. We had a great time. We had a great time. So,
turned up, man.
Yeah, we had a
the
great
black
time.
side, Mexican side, you know, and black and Mexicans get together, bro. We can have some fun.
Yeah, it was a nice shebang. It was. Has there ever been any times where, you know, you felt, you know, maybe throughout the years, you know, especially with the kids growing, maybe going through adolescence and stuff like that, that maybe, you know, you felt that you might have got a little confused on your role and how to go about handling your role and stuff like that? Because, again, I know you said, you know, you had never really, you know, dealt with kids and stuff like that.
Man, I am, to this day, still struggling. on my role. And the kids are grown now, but they're still our
even though,
kids.
right.
Your kids will always be your kids, no
Right.
matter how old you get. So like I still struggle with like sometimes like
Knowing what to do.
what to do. Um, should I give this advice? Should I step in here? Should I do this or that? Like I'm still learning, man. There's no like school you can go to be a parent. And there's really no school you can go to be a step parent. Especially when it doesn't have any kids. They're their own. Like I struggle with that sometimes. Like knowing that like I'm never gonna have a biological kid, So that taunts me sometimes. Not taunts me, but haunts me. Wrong word. But we not to go off tangent here, but we talked about it one time. And it was either so here's the situation, right? In a bubble. Peach came to me, was like, women complications. And it's either we try now or I'm getting a hysterectomy. So that was a hard one for me. You feel me? Because I was like, man, like, I feel like it was on me to make the choice for her to get a hysterectomy or not. And she was like, you got till this date. And I was like, well, I'm going to take all the way up to that damn date. Because I'm like, it's going to take me that long to really make a decision. Because I'm not a quick decision maker.
Think on things, ponder.
Man, I overthink stuff. So that could take a while as well, you know what I'm saying? But so it got down, I think, to like a week before. She was like, do you want to do the in vitro? Because after D was born, Peach got her tooth tied. So she couldn't have kids when we first got together anyway. So, but I always told her, I was like, if I was like so harped on you having kids, I would have been like, we need to get the surgery reversed, or like, you know what I'm saying? As soon as we got together, as soon as we got married, I've been like, we need to do this, but I never was. Because I was just like, we got 2 kids already.
Right.
I was like, I'm cool with this. Like, I don't need biological kids in my life to feel like I'm fulfilled. Some people do. I don't. It's just who I am. I don't feel like I need that to fulfill me in my life or anything like that. Like my legacy or anything like that. Like I'm here, I'm gone.
But as you said, though,
yeah, my legacy would be the kids that are here that I did raise. They don't have to carry my last name. They carry my stuff I taught them. They got that in them. So they'll, you know what I'm saying? That I like to pass that on. That'll be a legacy for me. You feel me? So, but anyway, it got about a week before, and she was like, what's your decision? And I was like, well, I still got a week. And she was like, well, by now you should have a decision. And so, like, I was like, I think I said yes. Let's try it. Right. And then she scheduled an appointment with an in vitro doctor. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I totally fucking forgot about the appointment. I ain't gonna lie. I totally forgot about the appointment. And she was so mad at me. She was so mad at me, bro. And I was like, what I do? And then she told me, and I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I really did forget. I had it was just out of mind because I was like, my decision ain't came up yet. Why are you scheduling a doctor's appointment to go do something before I even give you, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got in a big argument, man. I mean, like, big. Like, it was damn near like separate ways argument. And I was just like, I'm good. I don't want them because I know what it'll do. So here's the thing. One, if it happens, it had to be in vitro. At that time, I was working at Roche, and they paid probably 80% of the in vitro costs. Great, right? Two, high risk pregnancy because of the age we were at.
Complications.
Yeah, complications gonna be there anyway because of lady situation.
Yada yada.
Plus
yada.
age. You know, you might have a Down syndrome kid. You know, I have nothing against people that have Down syndrome kids, but I don't want to create one.
Right. If you can prevent it or whatever.
Yeah. So, two, it could probably freaking kill her pregnancy.
It's a chance.
Yeah, it could. She could bleed out that much, like during the pregnancy.
So it was more to lose.
So to me, I made a decision to have her in my life versus trying to have a kid for something that doesn't matter to me that much, like legacy or. I mean, legacy matters to me, but not as much as having my wife here with me on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So my decision was no, because not because we got in an argument or whatever. I was leaning towards that anyway because I knew of all the complications and everything. We had talked to the doctors, and I was like, I'd rather have her here than to have 3 kids and she ain't here. See what I'm saying?
Right.
I would rather have it the other way around. So I was like, why even chance it?
I think that's understandable.
You know, and then she was like, well, I'm having my hysterectomy. And I was like, okay, I'll be there holding your hand while we do it. I'm fine with the decisions, and I feel good about the decisions I've made in our marriage as far as kids go. And I'm totally fine with it.
Gotcha.
You know, because I look at those kids as my kids. Because to me, they are. Where's their fathers at right now?
Right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. One thing that's really helped me, though, I ain't gonna lie to you. Therapy.
Therapy.
Definitely. Like, it's really.
Do you think a lot of men could use therapy that are stepfathers just to, you know, kind of maybe help them cope with maybe, I would say maybe intrusive thoughts? Because I think a lot of times, you know, in certain situations, I think, you know, I've talked about how men stay silent and blended families sometime to just keep the ball rolling at home. Staying silent sometimes is a way of keeping the ball rolling, not creating friction in the house, almost like another way of safety, a safe zone, I guess you could say. But I think still in those silent moments, you know, a lot of times, you know, you're not really talking to nobody about maybe how you feel about things, like you said, communication. Maybe the communication in some aspects you feel like it might not get taken right, and it's a problem. And
help.
Yeah.
No, it does help.
And I think it causes sometimes intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Intrusive thoughts. And you know, if you don't got nobody telling you that you know you're overthinking it, that's not what it is, you know, or nobody that's been in those shoes, you know, sometimes those intrusive thoughts could lead to negative actions, no action, just somewhere where it's
that's
not
a big
good.
one I like, though.
You know what I mean?
No action.
Right, no
I
action.
Like that one.
So,
yeah, it can. It kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier, and I was talking. I was like, I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't stop said situation from happening. I didn't, because, like you said, it won't cause no friction.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
But
don't
friction
want
was
to.
still created anyway.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. I'm married to a black woman.
Right.
You're married to a Mexican woman, so you already know.
Yeah.
Friction is coming regardless.
So, I get it.
But yeah, the therapy part of it, man, I really think a lot of black men can benefit from going to therapy. Like, it's not that you're a punk or something. It's not that you're weak or something. It's just that we as black men, man, we hold on to so much stuff and we just keep it in. And then it just pops one day. And then you be like, dang, what did I just do? You know, why did I just do this to that person? Or why did I just say this to this person? Or like, you never know when it's gonna pop, but the therapy allow you to release it and talk about your feelings in a safe place with someone who ain't gonna judge you.
Do you think white men go through this type of stuff differently or have less reason to want to go through therapy?
I think white men probably go through a lot easier, you know what I'm saying, more than black men.
Mm-hmm.
I think black men have to deal with more stress and trauma than white men do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you have, black men got to worry about everyone looking at them when they walk into a room or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting judged off because you're a black man. They think you violent off the top. But you ain't. You trying to come here and chill out like everybody else. The place I work at, I'm in a room with a lot of white people. Mm-hmm. I'm oftentimes in places where I'm the only black person. And it's sometimes uncomfortable for me, because I can't kind of relate to everyone. But I can professionally, but socially I can't. You know what I mean? So I try but see, that's pressure right there. Like trying to conform yourself to fit in with, people that you work with, you want to be cool with. And like, but talking about that with a therapist, or talking about that situations that happens in that helps you navigate it better.
Now,
so you feel more comfortable. So you feel, I can't say this, I can't say that. What color is skin? I don't
saying.
care.
I get what you're saying, and I definitely agree, especially as far as the economic side, I guess you could say, like jobs, working outside, working stuff, and just out in life. However, I do want to say I do think, far as just this particular aspect on blended families.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, you good. Just on blended families, I think that white men can relate just as much as black men, far as the blended family aspect of things. You know what I mean? If you get what I'm saying.
I do. Let me see. Let me think about it real quick.
It's not now. I do still think that we may have a different approach still, to a certain extent. But I think that I think all men of all races, especially in this day and age right now, are all dealing with typically the same issues at hand.
Right, and I can feel you on that from the aspect of normally when it's a blended family, mm-hmm. it's the kids involved. Mm-hmm. So don't care what color your skin is.
Right.
You're going to protect and provide for the kids. So that's common mind thinking right there. You know what I mean? So yeah, we are
as far as
on the same level.
Baby daddy drama, baby mama drama, the kids rebelling, mm-hmm. Respect ain't there. I just think, that has no boundaries to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Now, did Dulce have any kids before you and her?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're...
Yeah, I'm a stepfather. Yep, that's the whole reason. Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, it just would have been uh, welcome back to interracial families, because
Right.
we on the blended family. So I
Yeah.
guess
So
people might think blended as interracial, but no, I'm talking about blended as you got a step kid or somewhere involved, or so. But yeah, she had a daughter when we first got together,
okay.
and we obviously met in high school, and she had a daughter. She was about, I think. Uh, when me and her first started really like kicking it heavy, the baby I believe was 2. We started kicking it pretty heavy as seniors. Um, we I'd say I got attached to the child. Um,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't think I've actually ever talked about that too much in none of the videos, but I got attached to the child more than the mom. And so I started thinking about her more so than
Mm.
my relationship with my wife. Obviously at the time, it was just my girlfriend,
Yeah.
and I don't think that I wouldn't recommend guys to do that, obviously, because you can't try to be with a woman just because you care about the child. Um, that obviously it just isn't going to work because if you guys aren't working but you care
Yeah.
about the child,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's just not gonna work. Especially, if the child's father is still in the picture. And back then
And
we're
where's he?
we're teenagers, so
I mean, is he
yeah, he's
now?
he is
Okay.
present. He's a present father.
Okay.
Um,
How's that navigating? Cause see, I
that
don't know nothing
right,
about that life. You know what
it
I'm
is
saying? I kind of wish I did,
mm-hmm.
but I don't though. Because I think it would have. I honestly think it would have helped some. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't there. And
Right.
and one's about to get out soon, but
So kind of wondering how that may go.
Tasha's grown. Man.
Right.
She's
So it's like
27. So at this point, it don't matter. But it kind of does because, like I said earlier, you can never learn too much
right.
trying to be a parent, and I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold that
Sorry,
thought. Yeah, he was around, and honestly, when we first started talking, no, um, I think obviously, especially when we're young as we was, what happens. Even now, people grown. You get somebody pregnant, they think oh, she mine. I ain't got to worry about that. She'll be there whenever I'm
Yeah,
ready. I think
yeah.
he kind of may had that mind. Especially being young. But we started talking, and he messaged me on Facebook. I'll still never forget it. And he's like, "She's mine. You understand?" And I'm like, "What?" I was confused because I'm like, "Who is this?"
Yeah, like you ain't my
I'm like, "I
friend.
don't even know who this." I'm like, "Oh, this must be her baby daddy or whatever," and it was. So that was basically just the introduction of me knowing that this is about to be a rocky road if I choose to stay with her with this guy because he's going to give me hell probably, and he did, and he's a white guy, so
Did not know that.
he's a white guy, so
Or maybe I did and I forgot. But
he,
yeah.
so I
Okay.
dealt with a lot of turmoil over the years. I done had a lot of accusations, and I've dealt with things that I wouldn't wish on
Sorry
no
to hear
man. And
that, brother.
yeah, it's all good. It's old. A lot of it is old.
Yeah, but it
Like I said, it's
still
still
happened
there.
to you.
You don't forget about it. You know
Yeah,
what
it
I mean?
still happened to
Right.
you.
It still happened, and it didn't have to.
Yeah.
I can say, looking back, that maybe I was overstepping boundaries because I always been good with kids. Always. My sister. She had a child, and I used to babysit. I used to watch all my little cousins growing up. So I've just always been really good with kids, and
Yeah,
they always
okay.
took to me really well. So
Hence why you
yeah. So right. So I used to watch her and stuff, and we wasn't even married or nothing at this time, or staying together or nothing. And looking back at that, I think I was wrong. I shouldn't have been doing that. Um, you know, obviously, because just the boundaries, and she had a father, and he had family and stuff like that. But she particularly didn't think that he was just a good fit, I guess you could say. I don't want to say a good fit, but it just didn't have its life together so much back then. And I mean, not to say who did, but uh, I kind of got it. But she probably still should have figured. I should have said probably nah, I couldn't do some of the things I did do, even though I didn't necessarily feel I did anything wrong. Probably just wasn't my place to do them at that particular time.
But the fact that you can self-reflect,
and it's because I now
is a big step.
Yeah, and it's like because I have daughters now, and you like you say, you self-reflect and you think, like if something like it, let's just say if we broke up or something like that, and she got with a guy and he was doing what I was doing, I probably would be upset too, especially if they're not married. I get that in this day and age people live together and people they help raise kids that aren't theirs in certain situations, and I mean I get it, but I do think that because it's convenient most of the time, just a convenience thing.
Right.
But I do believe that it's an obligation to make sure your child is safe.
Definitely.
And in this day and age, I mean, there's just too much crazy stuff going on.
Way too much.
And it was happening back then, but it's just so much more prevalent now.
Chat rooms, social media aspect.
So that's just how I looked at things. I mean, again, I've dealt with CPS. Then I had to talk to police, and this is just stuff. And this is again in my early 20s. Early 20s. So I done lived and learned a lot. I learned a little bit about the law myself just from going through all this stuff. You know what I mean? And
the hard way.
Yeah, and it's not. I don't regret none of it. You know what I mean? Again, I love her, my stepdaughter. I love her. Just like she's my own. I done been there since she's basically been 3 years old since we locked it in.
Okay.
And she got pregnant the year after we graduated. We moved in. And I'm like, want to try to be a family. So we did that for a few years. Then we got married and had a couple more kids. So
you got 3 altogether, or
no, 4 altogether.
4
all girls.
Oh, girl, you a girl dad.
Oh, girl dad.
Kobe.
Girl dad, man. I was hoping for a boy, but
you gonna try for the boy?
I don't know, man. I don't know. My dad had 3 before he had me. So obviously,
3 girls?
3 girls before he had me. Okay. I done spit out obviously 3, and then I include my stepdaughter.
It must run in the family.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. That 4th one might be the lucky number, but I don't know. I don't like odd numbers.
My cousin tried that and had another boy.
He got all boys?
All boys. And he just gave up.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done.
Yeah. So I mean, it's all good, but yeah. I always say, if my girls take care of me, like I see how how I see my wife want to take care of her dad, then I'll be straight. I'll be sitting up, kicking my feet up, eating grapes and whatnot.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So
you say eating the grapes.
Yeah, like feeding me
back
the grapes
to the
and whatnot.
time.
Yeah. So I think that'll be all good. It's got its pros. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's rough. It's been a learning experience, and I dealt with a lot. And you forgive and never forget. And we've had to try to be cordial and come together to do what's best for her. When things have been out of whack with her, I mean, we done tried to all sit down together and talk. Something that we never been able to do over the years.
That's good. That's progress.
Progress. And I had to put things behind me, again, because a lot of things I think I dealt with, some people probably would say, hell no, I would never sit down with this guy or, ever do anything with this guy. You know what I mean? So I had to put a lot of that behind me. And it's not to say that I never was wrong in none of the things I did. You know what I mean? I'm sure I was wrong with me. We done argued. I done said some things to him that wasn't necessarily right. You know what I mean? But he done went down to the gutter. So I don't think
it takes a big person, man. It shows like your commitment, and your.
I think I do that solely for my daughter.
Yeah.
Just for her,
Yeah.
that nobody else, not for me, not for my wife, just for her. So that's the only reason,
That's the only reason you need.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. So,
To be honest with you, you ain't need a reason.
right. You 100% right on that.
I'm her dad too,
Right.
so I'm doing what any other
Right.
dad would
And a
do.
lot of times, like you say, like I asked you, you get confused on the roles and stuff sometimes, 'cause a lot of times,
Yeah.
you constantly getting told, which is good that you never had to deal with things like this, because
Right.
it doesn't kind of create this friction in your head, when she's always being told, oh, he's not your father, and he's not this, he's not that, just constantly putting negative poison in her head, and it, causes friction or chaos, or may cause her to act out in certain ways, or maybe not listen. And, I believe, like, I believe in whoopings and all that, even on whooping kids that ain't yours. Yeah, if they living with you and you taking care of them,
beat them down. No, I'm joking.
hey, but I mean, again, now I do get it.
I mean, I
On
believe
certain
in
circumstances, you come in kids' life and they teenagers already.
Yeah. Well, they weren't teenagers.
Well, no, I'm just saying in certain
but
instances.
they weren't 3.
Mm-hmm.
So they already kind of had their, structure from Peach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you kind of just built off of that.
Yeah, so I need to come in and
redefine it a little
build off of that and try and take pieces from it.
Try to carve it up.
Fit in where I fit in the way I want, them to get from me.
Mm-hmm.
Not from her, but from me. Because me and her got a big argument one time because I said, I try and steal stuff in the kid. And she came back and she was like, you can't instill nothing into my kid. And that really hurt. And by that time, we were together for at least, we've been together 19 years, married 15. We were together at least 5 years by then. We weren't married yet.
I'm glad you said that. How, like you said that really hurt.
Yeah, that hurt. Because I was like, what do you mean I can't instill nothing in the kids? They've been around me for these years, and I ain't seen no father figure walk through this door or anything.
Do you think that's...
So what other man are they getting influence from?
Let me ask you this.
And stuff. So.
Do you think that just comes from a mother had did it so long that she felt that
yes,
the only way was hers?
Totally. 100%. Yeah. And especially because my wife is a Sagittarius. So your mother is too. That's why they get along together so much. Sometimes the mouth is quicker than the head. Mm-hmm. So things that are said ain't really what they meant to say, but they say them. I always tell Peach, I'll be like, try and think before you talk. But it's just who she is, man. It just comes out. Sometimes it comes out cutthroat, like throwing knives at you, and you're like, damn. All I said was hello.
Right. So did you have a breakdown on that, or like, how that made you feel? And did you tell her that? Like, did you talk to her about that?
We kind of did, but we really didn't. We really didn't, man. We kind of did. I told her that it hurt me or whatever, and then it was like, so we going to dinner or not,
Right. And I guess you could say in the long run, like you said earlier, you get out of them like success.
Yeah, but that was
you instilling in them, because I mean you still did either way.
Yeah. Like, and that was early. Like I said, that was before we got married and everything and stuff. So it was all new to kind of both of us. Mm-hmm. We kind of was trying to figure things out and stuff. So but even to this day though, like we started therapy again, I want to say like a year ago, year and a half ago. Me and Peach did. So we go like marriage counselor. Because I just feel like we were, you know, missing each other on some things. And it wasn't a lot of arguing, but it wasn't a lot of talking. And that kind of bothered me, you know. And I ain't really a vocal person. You know, get a little drink in me, then I'm vocal. Mm-hmm. That's anybody. But I just feel like me and her weren't on the same page with some things, and I felt like if I brought it to her, it would be an argument. And I was like, the only way that I can kind of say I want to say, and give her a platform to say what she wants to say, because marriage is a two-way street.
Right.
We probably need to go sit down on somebody's couch and talk. And that's what we've been doing, like once a month for the last.
I think that's good.
I want to say year and a half. I just moved it up to twice a week, but I'm sorry, not twice a week, but twice a month. But we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Might move it back to once a month.
Let me throw another disclaimer in there for the blended families. So, blended families, husband and wife. You know, if you guys, you know, have felt that you guys wasn't on the same page as far as marriage and the kids, things just wasn't going as you guys foresaw it, and you decided to get into counseling and therapy. How'd that work out for you? What was the turnaround? How'd that go? So drop a comment and let us know.
But, I got a guy for you if you need one. Yeah. Family business. Vernon, he's a good guy.
Okay.
Younger than me, but cool.
So
cool
it was one thing I told you to hold that thought. I know it's kind of getting that time up.
Because I asked you a question and you started talking.
Yeah.
Because I like stuff to go both ways, man. Like I just don't want to be
right. And I like when people
over
ask
here,
me too.
But I asked you a question. You was like, I don't think I ever brought that up.
Because I don't. Yeah. Because
probably nobody's ever really asked you.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean?
Right. I'm not the guru. I don't
got all the answers. You want to hear your side of it too, man. You know what I mean? Like you're doing this, which I feel like is a great platform. Mm-hmm. You know
Appreciate
what I'm saying?
It.
That's why I'm here. But we also want to hear your, you know, struggles with it or your story with it as well. Why you doing these things and everything. Man.
Right.
That goes back to why you started doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you were curious about it enough that you seen something inside that was happening, and you thought like maybe other people would want to talk about this.
And the crazy thing is, I pondered on doing this for 3 years before I did it. Before I just did it.
Really?
I pondered on it for 3 years, worried about what people gonna think, worried about saying the wrong thing, worried about how people gonna look at some of the things that I say, and you know.
So what made you finally just be like, I'm
I was just like, I just sat down, recorded, and started talking, and I was like, let's just see where this goes, you know.
Yeah.
Like, what do I got to lose? You know, I'm a working man. I can go. I still got a job. If this don't work, I just go to work. You know.
Yeah.
If this turn into something big and people like it, you know, hey. So you know, what it was like. That's exactly what I thought. What did I have to lose? You know.
Nice.
I thought about, you know, obviously how it could possibly affect my relationship with my stepdaughter or whatever. But, you know, me and her so tight. And again, I done been there since pretty much day one. Mm-hmm. I think she knows my intentions and, you know, my genuine feelings towards her. So I'm sure there is something that, you know, I could say, obviously, that could make her feel bad if I intentionally wanted to hurt her feelings or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's
right. Anybody could do that.
But, yeah, because we know, you know, as husbands, which buttons to press.
Right.
If we want a reaction.
Right. So, you know, I mean, it's like, that's not what it's for. It's trying to make her feel bad about anything or anything. I'm doing this for the fathers and stepfathers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
doing it for you.
Right.
So, doing it for you, bro.
For me?
That's what's up. Yeah. You're doing it for yourself. Yeah, you're creating a platform for other like-minded people to come on and talk about their stories as well. But
I guess that's the way doing it. Yeah. I guess partly. It's
something you want to do, so you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not waiting for somebody else to come to you
Right.
to do it. You're gonna do it. That's what's up. And that takes courage. Cause you're putting yourself out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's up, man. I like that.
I don't know. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll go on and just shoot whatever else you was gonna ask me. I don't know that.
So Peach calls me and was like, "My cousin just got her kids taken from." I said, "Okay." She was like, "Can they come live with us?"
I knew you was about to say it.
I was like, "Well, I'm at work." Like, you know, I was like, "Well, they ain't got nowhere else to go." Yeah, but I was like, "Let's talk about this when I get home." See what I did? See where I messed up at? So I get home, walk right into a drug test.
The CPS was already there?
Already there. I walked directly into a drug test.
You had smoked weed, I'm assuming, at the time?
No, I don't partake in weed too often. If I do, it's an edible. I can't smoke weed because it just does something to me that I don't like.
Gotcha.
So I can eat weed and be cool, but if I smoke a blunt right now, I'll be under this table in a fetal position.
Paranoid.
Like they outside knocking, bro.
Got you.
But so boom. So that happened. And overnight our family went from 2 kids to 1, 2, let's see, the twins. They were 4 at the time. And then you had Ajane, she was 2. She the little ringleader. And then you had Baby, who was 2 weeks old. We got Baby when she was 2 weeks old. And they took the kids away from the mother because Baby tested positive for cocaine and opioids. And they was gonna throw them into the system and separate them all. So we took them into our house, bro. So we you talking about blended family? That was probably the hardest strain on me and Peach as a married couple and as a family that I think that we're ever gonna see. And for the longest, man, I really resented my wife for that decision. Like, cause I feel like she made it without my consent. Because I did say yes on the phone. You know, I mean, it's like, you know you done fucked up.
Right.
You know, you bought the bottle of beer. But I was never able to like weigh in or anything. And it just came. And they were bad, broken kids. You know, they were from a broken family and, Baby, but I fell in love with the baby. So like you said, 2 week old, because I never had my own kid. So I didn't know about the joy of like waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, the baby crying, you gotta do this and that. And Peach didn't put it all on her. She told me I had to get up and change diapers, had to learn how to change diapers and stuff, man. And I would be the babysitter sometimes. When Peach had to go to work, she's like, I can't take him here or there. I'm like, I got him. She was like, you got him. I said, I got him. Now, was the house a little tore when she got home? Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to keep up with them.
Of course.
But we had teenagers then. Our kids were. So they were able to help out too. All right, take them to the park, D. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, take them to the park. I got Baby. I'm going to watch her. So we all kind of navigated it. But we had them for 10 months, I think. Yeah. But it got to a point to where I just couldn't do it anymore. Me and her were arguing, and
it was just a strain.
I feel like it was either. I told Peach, I said it's me or the kids. Which I was like, you got a decision to make.
So did they go back with
A week later, they were gone.
family?
Yep, with the mother's aunt. Peach is a cousin, so it was with the mother's aunt. So, but I said we gotta get rid of the baby. She said, "Yeah, I was trying to keep the baby." Cause I'm like, "Shit, we raised her,
right?
Like that's our baby. Like that baby, 2 weeks old, she don't know nothing.
Right.
10 months, okay, or 11 months, whatever. She still don't probably remember none of this, but we raised that
At that point in time,
kid.
10 months. That's she
crawling, walking around. Well, wasn't walking in, we're crawling around and everything. But I feel like I put in a lot of work, and that was because I was like, "Can we adopt her?" And she was like, "They came together, they leaving together." And I was like, "What?" I said, "We can adopt just the one." She said, "No. They came together, they leaving together. You told me it was either you or them, so they got to go."
I get.
I was like, "Dang,
I get you. I get you. But I definitely understand. I understand Peach on that. I understand.
Yeah,
that,
so
I understand.
that was a true crazy blended because we were foster parents. I was a foster parent and I was, a stepfather at the same time. And I was like, I got all these kids and still no biological kids. So for me, it was just like a whole crazy time, bro. It was like a crazy. And this was kind of like right after her hysterectomy. So that was still kind of weighing on me, like that decision to know like I ain't gonna have none, and then now this comes into my life.
Why is God doing this?
Yeah, it was just like, dang, man. So it was a very stressing, challenging, but exciting time. It was never no lack of excitement when we had those foster kids. It was something was always going on.
Kept you guys on your toes.
Yeah, like when one of them just ran out of the school and they had to call us. It was like, we can't find her. We don't know where she's at.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, like we don't know where she's at. It was like, what do you mean you don't know where she's at?
Wow.
Like you lost the kid? Right. How do you lose a kid?
Right.
Like,
I'm surprised they called y'all.
But she was just hiding behind a dumpster.
Oh.
Like she was inside the building but hiding behind one of those trash cans. She was just scared. Like the second day she was there, I made spaghetti for them all. And she's like, I don't want spaghetti. And I said, you better sit down and eat that dang spaghetti. And we got a wall that's like orange. I mean, I'm not sorry, orange, but yellow. Mm-hmm. And she picked the bowl up and she looked at me. She threw it against the wall. Whole thing of spaghetti. Nigga, I lost my mind.
I bet.
Man, I was like, this is day 2, bro. Right. Like, I was like, what have we gotten ourselves into over here? Like,
I remember what I was gonna say too.
That was crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You remember?
Right. I remember. What I was gonna say was, so and you could relate it to both of the kids. Was there ever any times where you felt like maybe there was going through times where they maybe felt questioning about just the father's existence and the whereabouts and stuff like that? And did they ever kind of come
like them as far as their father?
Yeah.
I would say yeah. I think both of them had that. Especially Taja, because her daddy got out of jail. He was out, and he was reintroducing himself to her. At this point in time, she's in high school. And she was just very conflicted on what kind of relationship she needed to have with him. Mm-hmm. And she never brought it up to me, or we never really talked about it, but I seen it on her. You know what I'm saying? And then he went back to jail.
Gotcha.
So You know, Tasha's, like I said, a loner, so she's not really gonna express her feelings to you. I don't even think she does that with Peach that much. Like you may have to pry it out of her. But I think if you sit her down and try and pry it out of her, she'll give you something, but she's not gonna give you the whole thing just because how private of a person she is. You know what I'm saying? And I never really asked her about it. Like I never really pressed the kids about their dad. You know, D on the other hand, he's more open with it, more open to talk about it, and I can approach him and be like, you know, why you feel like your dad such and such, or why this and that, and so because for a long time his dad got mad at him because D had his number saved in his phone as a clown emoji. And after D graduated high school, his dad tried to start
coming around.
Yeah, like you want to come over here with us, yada this, yada that. So D went, but he was still weird about it.
Skeptical a little bit.
Well, the dad was weird about it. Okay. He still wasn't talking to him right or saying you shouldn't do this or that. And D was just like, man, I'm over here trying to learn you and understand, but I still have questions and like, why wasn't you there? Like, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's when he said he put the clown emoji in the phone. He was like, this dude's a clown.
You're right.
So then he seen it because they were over there one day and the daughter seen it. So he called Peach and was like, and kind of tried to go off on Peach, like about why your son, why you got me here as a clown emoji and all this stuff and everything. She was like, probably because you a clown. So eventually she ended up taking him to child support court. Peach did. She didn't want to, but couldn't find him for years, though, bro. I mean, couldn't find that nigga for years. That nigga was hot.
So he was gone.
Gone.
Jason Bourne.
Yeah. But through, like, social media, one of her cousins is, like, a friend that's a friend of him. And she seen him in a picture. And that's how she got him. And took him to court and everything. Like, back child support, bro. Like,
okay.
You pay this. So he's still paying that to this day. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't start paying it till later on. But yeah, now his dad wants nothing to do with him. And I'm just like, how can you have a biological kid out there that wants to get to know you, and you still don't want to have nothing to do with him? And then when you did get to try and know him, you the one that got your niggers all up in a bunch about a situation or whatever, and then you just cut him off. Just quit talking.
Right.
Like I that's just crazy to me. I can't believe that. Like, because I would never do anything.
Right. Like that. Right. One last question on that, since you had brought it up, the child support thing. I was actually going to ask about that. So, how do you feel about child support? Far as, now I want you to try to think, I guess, in a broad manner. Do you think child support is just exclusively for the kid? Should be exclusively for the kid? Far as the kid's benefit. Now, I want you to think about everything the child benefits from, especially like living situations, all that.
That's a touchy situation. Mm-hmm. Well, not, I guess.
Let me put it like
this. It's a deeper situation because it depends on the two parents, right? How it was when they decided to separate. Now, if they like, all right, we're going to separate. I'm going to pay you under the table, or you going to take me to court.
Right.
There's two different types of child support.
I
got a cousin that got 6 kids. Ain't none of his baby mamas took him to child support.
I've heard of people doing
but
that.
he
That can work it out like that.
gives damn near all his money to his baby mama
Right.
for the kids, or he do stuff for the kids.
They probably take even more than what he gets
Yeah,
if they
more than what they
though.
gonna get
Right.
from the court. Now he's got another problem because he keep having kids. Because he get with a girl, get her pregnant, and then he leave.
Gotcha.
After the baby's born.
Gotcha.
He's got a totally other.
Right.
We're gonna start a whole new podcast
right.
talk about that.
Okay. I guess what I'm asking you is, so do you think it's wrong or anything like that?
I don't think it's wrong if the father is not wanting to be around and diverting his duties of said kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's justified. If you want to lay down in the bed and do what you do and make a baby with this woman, and then get up and walk away, then yeah, you need to be gone this, man. Because that's 50%. It take two to tangle, but you don't want no part of the tangling.
Right.
After the tangle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Yeah, you should be. And bro, it'd be like $25 a week. Right. The niggas don't even be paying that shit.
Yeah, I didn't even. That's unheard of if they still
like
doing
$25
that.
a week.
That's unheard of if they.
Man, look, here go 4 months right here.
Right. Right. Okay.
But in California, it's totally different. The state ain't have it. California child support is based off of like what said person is making. So like that's why celebrities, you know what I'm saying, get divorced or they just have a kid, and let's say the woman take on the child support, and then they gotta pay like
$20,000
a month, right? But they're millionaires,
right?
They're multi-millionaires, so $20,000 a month ain't that much of them. Well, we think it isn't, right. But a lot of these celebrities ain't making as money that we think they making, bro. You know what I mean? And if the baby mama take you to court and get $20,000 a month, guess what you gonna have to start doing? Shows again. But it goes off your income and what you're making. So if you can prove that you ain't making that amount of money, then they lower the child support. But what famous person on social media want to show the rest of the world they ain't making that amount of money? Because all this stuff is public record.
Right.
Because people can go and look up, oh, this is what you're paying. This is what you're doing on child support. Because it's all public record and everything. Unless you get your documents sealed. But and a lot of celebrities do that. You know what I mean? They have the money to, and right. The attorneys to do it and everything. So, but yeah, I think it's justified. I think you should pay. So does.
Yeah, he pays child support.
I was going to ask.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he pays child support ever since they've been together. I mean, now, not consistently all the time, but, you know, it gets paid eventually.
Yeah, so, it might get backed up or whatever, and then they knock on the door.
Yeah, so, I mean, he pays. I guess, so what I'm saying basically is just as a whole, far as a blended family, I'll give you an example. I'll just say this, actually, I'll use me for an example. Say for instance, you know, again, like I said, there's been times where he might be slipping or something, so he might not have paid in a little bit, and things coming up or groceries, bills, you know, it get rough sometimes. Basically, long story short.
Yeah, life is hard,
right? And you know, you're doing your thing, taking care of things as a man, but you know, money tight. If you know, all of a sudden, a man pays up a lump sum. Is it wrong to use some of that towards some bills to alleviate?
Hell no.
That's what I'm saying.
Because that's because
a lot of people
I'm supporting the kids.
Right. A lot of people think that child support should be strictly for the kids. So you should.
Then they ain't raising their kids. Shit, you know how much it costs to raise a kid these days, and how much stuff you gotta do, and don't let them be in sports. Oh my goodness. That's traveling out of here, traveling out of there, gas money this money that, food over here, food over there. That's eating out more.
Right.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm paying a bill with it or whatever.
And you know, that's not to say about my specific, because my stepdaughter's dad, he does help out on a lot of those things at times when he can or whatever. So, you know, that's just
my
right. But I think that
that
there are men out there that's in those positions that giving their last dollar to make sure their house is straight and included whatever for all kids. And, maybe the non-custodial dad ends up paying up. Mama gets a few $100s, is it wrong to break off stepdad over here, make sure to get him through or help him out or alleviate some bills to, just give him a little bit of help,
No,
things.
you look. Where's the kid at? In
With
this dwelling.
Right.
The money comes into this dwelling for said kid. As long as that kid is okay and being taken care of, the disbursement of the money in that home is whatever it needs to be to take care of that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's going to the damn light bill to keep the light bill on for this kid to live here,
right,
then that's where it's going.
Right.
If it's we going over here to get some groceries from BJ's, and that's what we're going to do. If it's, hey, we got, boom, some money, let's go have a movie night so the kids can get out of the house. Go have some fun or be kids. Then that's what we're going to use the money for, man. There's no stipulation on what child support money should be used for, and that's for a reason.
Right.
Because it's to support the child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Now, I don't agree with the irresponsibilities, moms going in to get their hair done and nails done and stuff like that. But again, I do think that if it's being used...
But see, here's the thing, though. It's part of it. It's up to the discretion of whoever named the money coming into to do with whatever they want to do with the money. Okay. But, yeah, that's all I would say. And yeah, come on the show. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's get a group discussion.
Yeah,
going
for sure.
on.
Yeah, I'm working on something like that, trying to get a panel here where we can get some guys talking about it.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. Yeah,
so,
sure.
Again, man, so right on, man. Again, this is Mike. I appreciate you coming on, Mike, man. That was a real
Thank
good
you for inviting me,
man.
For sure, man. I know I was a little all over the place.
Oh, no, that's all good, man. It be like that sometime, you know what I mean? So, again, thank you for coming. I think this was a good one.
Yeah.
And stay tuned. If you guys enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe for more. And stay tuned again on Blended Talk, where we talk about how men navigate through blended families, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.